Hey, I'm Jordan. This is my monthly roundup for February. February is a short month, but I still played a lot of great games. And I'm going to talk about 4 games like I always do. These are all 4 good games. I know sometimes I talk about a game I don't like, but this month was great. There weren't a ton of duds this month. And this month, all these games are little. Kind of going back to my roots. Last couple months I've been talking about some bigger games, Fox Experiment. Did I talk about World Wonders, Earth, like kind of bigger box games I've been talking about the last couple months. And we're going back. We're going little. Some of these are tiny, micro, you might even say. So let's get started. I'm going to go smallest to biggest here. This one is Pixie. What is Pixies? This is a button shy wallet game. Obviously, it comes in one of those little purple wallet with the pink on it. And this is designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, who also is obviously is most known for Wingspan, and now Fox Experiment, which I think is my favorite game of hers, and Pixie is not my favorite of hers, but I think it's still a really solid game. It's a micro game. It is a logical deduction micro game. Think like a Zendo kind of game, where there's a set rule, and I think it works best as a 2-player game, where you are trying to outsmart your opponent. You have a rule that you've decided. Maybe your Pixie prefers to eat less than 2 purple flowers, something like that. And so they're going to be offering these flower cards to you, and you're going to say, yes, I'd eat that, or no, I wouldn't eat that. And based off of the yeses and nos, you're going to be able to figure out as quickly as you can and as few cards as you can, I guess, what the rule is. There's not really much else to it. This is the first wallet game I've played that you do need additional components, because you do need paper and pencil to kind of write down what the rule is. I guess it's not like required, but it does tell you to use that. I haven't played one of these wall games that did require that, but there are ones. I have one on my shelf, Wild. Oh, it's about pirates, Wild Tales maybe, and I think you actually need a die or something in that one. But yeah, but anyway, off the tangent there. Pixies, I think, is a really solid deduction game. Think like 2-player filler kind of game. I think this one works pretty well. So there you go. Next up, and anybody who watches these videos, and I know there's like 20 of you, and I do appreciate you for watching these. If you know me, I really enjoy all-play games, especially their little box card game line. And this is a new one that I really like. I think I talked about Bacon last month, if I'm remembering correctly. This is up there as my favorite in that four game set. This is Lunar. Lunar is a trick-taking game, where Bacon was not quite a true trick-taking game, more of a ladder-climbing, card-shedding kind of game. This is a true trick-taking game, and Lunar's got a lot of kind of tropes and modern trick-taking games. You know, it's a partner game, so you got partners, you got changing trump, so it's unlike spades, where spades is always trump. This one has the players kind of choose what trump is each round. You have these colors and suits you have to follow in this one. So if somebody plays a green, the other, you have to follow with green. And then this one also has the fox and the forest kind of scoring, where you want to score different amounts of tricks. If you score the wrong amount, you might end up with 0 points. If you score the best amount, you might end up with 10 points. So it's kind of like a scorecard kind of thing, where you're not just kind of counting up how many tricks you get and you get that many points. You get maybe 5 tricks is actually 0 points, but if you got 1 trick, that's 10 points, that kind of thing. What makes Lunar, all of those things, like those are kind of common trick-taking things. What makes Lunar so interesting is that the cards are essentially deconstructed. When me and my partner are playing our cards, if I play a color card, my partner must play a number card, and then that color and number combination adds up to become 1 card. So you're essentially playing 2 halves of the same card, and then your opponents, another team, are playing the same thing. And if I play a green, then our opponents going next either have to play a number or a green. They have to follow if they have a green. And it just has so many interesting layers of, it just kind of like twists your brain a little bit, almost the way Cat in the Box twists your brain a little bit as you're trying to figure out and assign what different cards are and how the cards in your hand can almost change. Even though they're all exactly the same, they can almost feel like they're changing as the round goes on, based off of what your partner has or what your opponents have. So Lunar, I think this one is so cool. I think about it between plays, which I think is a good sign, of a good game. This one is not out yet. I believe Pandasaurus is bringing this one over, borrowing a friend's copy that was imported from France. And this is Faraway. Faraway is a kind of a, I guess, tableau building game, but it's almost has some programming aspects to it also. So you have a couple cards, you're drafting cards from the table as well, and you are playing these cards out in a row, 8 cards throughout the course of the game. And as you're doing that, you're playing the cards kind of from left to right, and the cards are going to give you different, like, I guess, resources, different scoring objectives, and some of them have different costs. Once you have played all 8 of these cards, you flip them all over, and then you're going to score them from right to left. So you play them left to right, but then you score them right to left. And as you flip them over, you see, do I have the cost? And if I do have the cost, then I can score that card and I get those points. And the next one I flip over, do I have the resources to pay the cost? And then I score it. And you go back through. It is a very quick game, but it's a game that forces you to think backwards almost the entire length of the game, where the first card I'm playing is actually going to be the last card that I score. And I don't, like, usually in these kind of, in these tableau building games, you want to start small, where I'm just playing a couple resource cards. This one's going to give me some money. This one's going to give me some resources. And as the game goes on, then I can play this card, and that's going to give me 15 points. And then I'll play this card, and I have the resources over here to be able to use this card. And that's kind of what you're doing. But in this game, you are planning backwards, where I want kind of bigger cards up front, and then as the game goes on, I want those resource cards, but maybe I don't get those resource cards that were going to match up with that one. So a little push your luck as well. So lots of layers to this one. Very quick kind of game, one that you could play. You should probably play multiple times, because that first couple games are going to be tough as you're trying to wrap your head around this one. But if you like programming games, if you like tableau building games, and you want a game that plays pretty quickly and has such an interesting kind of mental, tax, check this one out. Faraway, I think, is going to be a hit this year. I feel it. And the last one I think I alluded to last month. This is bigger slightly than the others, and this is French Quarter from 25th Century Games, Motor City Gameworks, and I adore this series of games. This is those loaded roll and write games. Started with Fleet the Dice game, and then has since moved on to Three Sisters, which is still my favorite of the series. Motor City came out last year, and I really enjoyed Motor City. It was like not in my top 10, but like it was like number 11 or 12. It was just such a huge year for cool games for me. French Quarter is solidly right there, right kind of in the middle for me. I really do enjoy this one. It has fewer combos than the other ones do, which I think some folks, when you're playing these kind of bigger roll and write games, you expect a lot more combos. And this one does not have quite as many combos, and that's okay, because that is kind of replaced by this movement sheet. So it's a double sheeted roll and write. You're going to roll these dice. They're going to go on these cards. It also has some flip and write aspects to it, but the cards and dice go together. So whenever you draft one, you take the actions on the card. You use that number on the die, and you're moving around this town. So one of your sheets is going to be a sort of map of New Orleans, and you're going to be moving around visiting these different sites and buildings. And once you visit that, you write the number on the die, from the die onto your building. Then that all adjacent buildings have to have a number written on them that's equal to or one away from the last number. And so it has that spatial puzzle that the other games do not have. It's not just checking boxes here, checking boxes here, checking boxes here kind of thing. It has that kind of spatial aspect to it. Motor City had that in like some parts. Motor City had a bunch of those little mini games around those sheets, and some of those were spatial. This one is like full on spatial for half the game, and the other half of the game is check off boxes, upgrade things, score some points kind of thing. I think it comes together really well. I have enjoyed this one tremendously. I think one player mode works really well too. I don't think you need a ton of players for this one. It plays up to 4, and I've played it at I've played 1, 2, and 4 players. I don't think I've played it with 3. But I do think it works really well with them. The sheets are a little, I've seen that they have some, the sheets are a little washed out art-wise, and so it's sometimes difficult to tell where things is, and the font is really tiny in this game. I've seen that there's higher contrast print-offs online. I haven't tried, I don't own a printer, so I can't print those off. So I'm just using what's in the box. But yeah, I think French Quarter is good. I think this is one of my, you know, I don't know if it'll make my top 10 of the year list, but it's I'm going to put it on my short list, I think, at the end of the year, because I do enjoy this game a lot. And the series just kind of hits me right in the space that I love games. So French Quarter. And there you go. 4 quick games, 4 quick reviews of 4 quick games. All right? All right, I'm Jordan. Thanks.